This is a real emergency call that was never meant to be heard by the public. It didn't come from a movie, it wasn't part of a story, and it wasn't staged for attention. It came from a quiet apartment building in the United States, in a city where thousands of 911 calls are made every single night. Most of them are routine. Some are tragic. But this one was different. Late one night, just after 2 a.m., a woman dialed 911 from her apartment. Her voice was low, almost a whisper, as if she was afraid someone might hear her. The dispatcher asked for her location, and she gave the address clearly, then said something strange. She said she thought someone was inside her apartment. The dispatcher asked if she could see anyone. The woman said no, but she could hear breathing. Not from outside. Not from another apartment. From inside her bedroom closet. The dispatcher told her to leave the apartment immediately, but the woman said she couldn't. She said the front door wouldn't open. She said it felt like something was standing on the other side, holding it shut. The dispatcher tried to keep her calm, asking her to move to a safer place, asking if she could lock herself in a room. That's when the dispatcher noticed something else. On the call recording, beneath the woman's whispering, there was another sound. Slow breathing. Deep. Steady. Not coming from the woman. The dispatcher asked if anyone else was in the room with her. The woman went silent for a moment, then whispered, "It's not in the room anymore." The dispatcher asked where it was. The woman answered, "It's in the hallway now. I can hear it moving." Police were dispatched immediately. The dispatcher stayed on the line, listening as the woman's breathing became faster, shakier. Then the woman whispered something that made the dispatcher freeze. She said, "It knows I called you." A few seconds later, the breathing on the line grew louder. Closer to the phone. The woman let out a quiet sob, then said, "It's standing right in front of me." The dispatcher shouted for her to run, to drop the phone and get out. But the woman didn't scream. She didn't run. She just whispered one last sentence. "It's smiling." Then the call cut off. Police arrived at the apartment building less than 5 minutes later. The front door of the building was unlocked. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no alarms. When officers reached the apartment, they knocked repeatedly and announced themselves. There was no response. They forced the door open. The apartment was completely empty. No signs of a struggle. No damage. No blood. The lights were on. The phone was on the kitchen counter, still connected to the 911 call log. Officers checked every room. The bedroom closet was empty. No footprints. No fingerprints. No indication that anyone else had ever been there. The woman who made the call was nowhere to be found. Neighbors were questioned, but no one reported seeing her leave. Security cameras in the hallway showed nothing unusual. No one entered or exited the apartment during that time. The footage showed only one thing. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the hallway lights flickered for 3 seconds. That was it. The woman's identity was confirmed through the phone records. But when officers checked public records, they found something impossible. According to official documents, the woman had died 3 years earlier. Same name. Same apartment number. Same phone number. Declared deceased after a medical emergency. The apartment had supposedly been vacant since then. Yet the utilities were active. The phone line was active. And the 911 call was real. The dispatcher was interviewed. She insisted there were 2 distinct breathing sounds on the call. One panicked. One calm. When the audio was reviewed later, analysts noticed something disturbing. After the woman stopped speaking, the breathing continued for several seconds. Then a low sound was heard. Almost like a laugh. Very quiet. Very close to the phone. The call log showed the line was manually disconnected from inside the apartment. Not dropped. Not cut. Disconnected. No suspect was ever identified. The case was quietly closed. The apartment was sealed. But strange reports continued. Maintenance workers claimed the lights sometimes turned on by themselves. Neighbors said they heard footsteps in the hallway late at night, stopping outside that apartment door. And occasionally, just before 2:17 a.m., someone could be heard breathing on the other side. Years later, an audio technician reviewing old emergency recordings found something that had been missed. When the 911 call was isolated and enhanced, a faint voice could be heard beneath the breathing at the end of the recording. It wasn't the dispatcher. It wasn't the woman. It sounded closer. Slower. The voice whispered a single sentence. "She let me in." The recording ends there. The apartment remains sealed to this day. No one has lived there since. But the phone line is still active. And according to internal records that were never released publicly, there have been other calls from that number. Calls where no one speaks. Calls where the dispatcher hears only breathing. Slow. Patient. Waiting. If you ever find yourself alone at night, hearing something move inside your home when no one should be there, remember this story. Some emergency calls don't ask for help. Some are warnings. And sometimes, whatever is on the other end of the line isn't the one who's afraid. If you enjoyed this story, remember to subscribe. Because the most terrifying things don't come from fiction. They come from places we trust. From phones meant to save us. And from doors we believe are locked. Listen carefully to the silence around you. Because something might already be listening back.